is 2025 and the automotive world is being forced to move in the full EV space. Well, some manufacturers are finding a clever way to slowly move there with cars such as this. This is the Haval H6 PHEV, which stands for plug-in hybrid. Here under the bonnet, you'll find a conventional combustion engine, which is mated to an electric drive system. This here is using a 1.5-litre turbo petrol engine, which is mated to a 35 kilowatt hour batteries and electric system. Together, it gives you about 342 kilowatt and 762 newton meters of torque. That is a lot of power. This car is all-wheel drive, so you get the joy of driving it with all four wheels and having quite a lot of driving modes such as off-road mode, mud, snow and whatnot. And the outside looks pretty beautiful. Really nice design, not too much in your face, but I do like that they mix it pretty well. You get LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, LED fog lamps, and you get a little bit of carbon accent here on the side. In terms of wheels, you get 19-inch alloy wheels, which are wrapped up in Michelin tires. Good grips, nothing hectic. You also get red brake caliper, which is only available for the GT models. And here on the side, you get big cladding. You get painted side mirrors with integrated turn signals, as well as your camera for your 360-degree park assist. And if we move towards the back, we're gonna see a little bit of sloping roof line. You get a sporty roof spoiler here at the back, big rear arches, and this being the plug-in hybrid. On the left hand side, you get your petrol cap, and on the driver's side, on the right side, you're gonna get your charging ports. What you can also notice here is that you get this fin here on the side, which improves aerodynamic, making it very sporty. And at the back, it is pretty simple. Sloping roof line, you get another spoiler here, carbon fiber trim here, carbon-esque fiber trim. You get H6 GT to remind you that you're driving the special edition in red, which matches the brake calipers. Side leaf exhaust port, and you get reverse sensors here. You get GWM, reverse camera, and you get a fully electric tailgate. Please don't care about the mess here. I do not have a parcel shaft cover here because it didn't come somehow, but you get access to your boot space here. You do not get a spare wheel, but you get tire repair kits. And yeah, the boot is pretty practical for a family of 3, 4 maybe. But yes, this is what it looks like here at the back. Inside the interior of the Haval H6 GT PHEV, you actually see that this interior is pretty much the same as the non-hybrid version. Inside, you're greeted with these comfortable part leather and part carbon fiber-esque, as I call it, because it's type of faux leather with a carbon fiber texture on top of it. And you get Alcantara here at the top, plus a GT embroidered logo here in red, reminding you that you're driving something a little bit more interesting. The seats are heated and ventilated, so you can have it both on your summer days and winter days. It will be very cool. So here you also get carbon fiber trims here, and your drive-by-wire gear selector here, which drives you from reverse, neutral, park, and your drive. I like the texture of this fake wood. I mean, it looks good and feels good to the touch. Doesn't squeak or rattle, so the build quality is very good. Here in the middle, you get a wireless charging pad, which, to be honest, is one of the slowest charging pad. It's not really fast. I don't think it's 60 watts or anything, so my phone really struggles to charge here. I think we've been driving for about 2 hours or so, and I only have less than 20% of charge. At the top, you get a digital infotainment screen compatible with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Wait for it. Wired, no wireless connectivity here. So the only wireless connectivity you get is your Bluetooth connectivity, which feels very outdated for 2025. Also, what feels outdated here are the USB ports. You do not get USB Type-C ports. You get all the old rectangle, square USB-A ports throughout the cabin, which is kind of a mission because remember, the latest phone are all using USB Type-C. Now you have to find adapters or go and buy a cable just to help whatever. So, and yeah, not really interesting to have that. The dashboard is covered in kind of a cushiony rubber material, and at the bottom you get this carbon fiber-esque trim texture here, and yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Sound system is, if I had to rate it out of 10, it's probably a 7, not really the greatest. It uses a DTS sound system, which isn't really the most immersive sound system, but it does work. I don't think people are not really into sound and all the nitty gritty will have anything to complain about. I think for the most people, it just sounds good. In front of the driver, you get also a digital instrument cluster, which has good resolution, good graphics. I think it's good, shows you all the necessary information. And I also like that it gives you good details on your electric consumption and your petrol consumption as well. To top that up, they also added an heads-up display up front, which displays all your information, as well as your map navigation or whatever. Sometimes when you connect it to a map, it shows you where you're going. The steering wheel isn't really the most premium feeling steering wheel. The leather is a bit, feels, too tight, not really plushy, but I think it works. The buttons, yeah, feel a little bit of low quality. You get piano black insert here in the middle, and overall, I have to say it's a pretty good interior. Yes, it feels outdated with the lack of wireless phone connectivity and the old USB Type A port, but overall, I think it's pretty good. Okay, quick demonstration of the rear passenger space of the new Haval H6 GT PHEV. Plenty of leg room, like my legs. I have pretty amount of knee room here. I can slide my feet under the driver's seat. Headroom is pretty good as well, but I think people over 190 may struggle a little bit because you have a sloping roof that comes all the way back here. The seats are very comfortable. Unfortunately, they do not get any heated or cooled function here at the back, but you get some perforated leather here in the middle. There is a carbon husk fiber, trim here. You can always pull this to have two cup holders here in the middle, and you also get the Alcantara and the GT embroidered logo here at the back. Overall, pretty good, pretty comfortable space, very spacious, I have to say. So this will easily accommodate 3 adults here at the back, and if you have kids, they won't be able to fight because they have 2 USB ports. Maybe if you have 3, that will be a fight. And you also get ISOFIX child seats, anchorage point here at the back, 3 seat belt all around, and pretty nice view. The thing is, panoramic sunroof doesn't come all the way here because you have a sloping roof, but I think it looks pretty good. I know a lot of petrol head may not be really fond of the whole electric mobility idea, and I kind of support that. But also, what I can say though, electric cars or electric powered cars are quite interesting. So I'm here behind the wheel of the new Haval H6 GT PHEV, and if you see me going around circles, that means that I am somewhere quite fun. So I'm here in Chapman Speak to test out the handling and the power of the Haval H6 GT PHEV. As you can hear the tires squealing, that is coming from the 2 electric motors and the 1.5 litre turbocharged petrol engine, which together combined, they're giving you about 342 kilowatts and 762 newton meters of torque. Geez, this car is quite fun to drive. As you can see, going around corners in full confidence. That's because we have the 4-wheel drive system and a pretty good torque vectoring system. And yes, this car is pretty fun. I don't think high school runs and school runs won't be any boring, because I think you have a lot of fun. This being all-wheel drives gives you a very good confidence of pushing it through its paces, and I'm having quite a lot of fun behind the wheel of this car. But of course, there's a Vito with tourist up front, so you're gonna have to slow down quite a bit. But yes, you do get a good amount of handling. You have sports mode and various off-roading modes from mud, snow and whatnot. But I think most of the people will drive it either in eco, normal or sport mode, and sport mode is definitely the one to go for. Haval claims that this H6 GT PHEV has a 0 to 100 time of about 4.9 seconds. That means you can keep up with some GTS, or you can even show them flames when you take off from standstill. Steering is pretty good as well, and you can actually change your steering feel between normal, sports and comfort, and preferred settings has to be sports. Pretty good. Wow, the torque vectoring is very good around corners. You can feel that the car is well balanced. There's minimal or barely any body roll noticeable when you're going around corners. This car does not feel any top heavy whatsoever. You feel very comfortable behind the wheel, and the seats are also very comfortable. What I can say though is this car can be pretty fun for a 5-seater family SUV. So definitely worth considering. And yes, I think I'm quite a fan of this H6 PHEV. And when it comes to safety, Haval has included 7 airbags inside this H6 PHEV, so you feel pretty safe. But also you get advanced driving features such as your forward collision warning, rear collision warning, traffic alerts. You get other things such as your lane keep assist, radar guided cruise control. You get all the premium features that you see in all those expensive over million rand cars, all included in this package. So when it comes to safety, it got it covered. And if you're not into the whole 0 to 60 hooligan driving experience or whatnot, this can be quite efficient as well, because the electric motors combined with the 1.5 liter turbocharged petrol engine together, they can give you about 1,000 kilometers of driving range. From my current experience, having driven this up and down in all the different driving modes, I've been averaging, or it looks like I'm going to average somewhere around 790 kilometers of driving range. Remember, you can always put the force to recharge, so you can either have the one pedal driving mode where you're completely recharging whenever you're slowing down or whenever you're braking, and it gets to recharge the battery, or you can always go recharge the battery directly from either AC charger or your charger at home or even a DC charger. So 790 kilometers is my own fault because I've been driving it in sports, normal, eco and whatnot, but I'm pretty confident that if you drive this conservatively, you can achieve the 1,000 kilometers that Haval claims. At 799,900 rand, basically 800,000 rand, I think that Haval has done a very great job here. Yes, the interior and some of the features are quite a little bit outdated, but the whole idea of the plug-in hybrid and very efficient and very interesting driving experience is there. Because yes, you get good amount of support from the petrol engine, and you get also good electric drive assistance as well. What I have to say that is the piece of resistance here has to be how quick and how stable this car feels on the road. Like even for, you know, people who are not really used to driving, you get this all-wheel drive system which makes it feel like a hero behind the wheel, and the car is very composed, it doesn't get upset, and yeah, it's just very good to drive around. So for 800,000 rand, I think this is a bargain. You get good support and less range anxiety by having the petrol engine, always recharging the batteries, or always near to a petrol station when you can easily top up the fuel. And you also get about 180 kilometers of electric drive alone. So if you actually get to drive it in electric mode, so if you average about 40 to 50 kilometers on a daily, you basically get to drive it on electric modes only, because it's very comfortable, very quiet, the seats are supportive, and I definitely think that it is worth considering.